Your Excellency Maolo Masoni, Ambassador.
The predecessor.
Oh, that's a predecessor. He has already gone. Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Italy to Kenya, the county executive members of Kilifi County, members of the press, and my fellow Kenyans. First and foremost, let me just say how grateful I am to be here, and particularly to thank my brother, Governor Kingi, because of the way that he has spoken to the issues that have brought us across this country, particularly on matters to do with health. I want to congratulate the Kilifi government for the investments that they have made in the health sector. We have seen the hospital in the new wing in Kilifi County, and just to urge you not to give up and to continue. I'm also particularly grateful, Your Excellency Governor, for the manner in which you have addressed us today, not just as Kilifi County, but as a country, regarding the manner of managing COVID-19. And as you have rightly said, we have been through a very difficult period as a country. We have managed to overcome that the first wave of the disease. Now we have a new wave that is hitting and coming to us. And we need to be even more vigilant than we were in the first instance that we came. So I want to thank you very, very seriously, Governor Kingi, and to urge you that this cooperation that is there between the national government and the county government on fighting this COVID-19 is the way that we are going to succeed. I want to take this opportunity also to say that the construction of this laboratory where we are, the Malindi East African Public Laboratory, is situated here at this hospital, which was started sometime in 2012-2013 in the fiscal year, and was given to the Ministry of Health in 2015 and subsequently given over to you, is part of the ways that we are working on managing our challenges. I'm glad also to note that the facility is equipped with state-of-the-art equipment and has the capacity to diagnose many communicable diseases in the region, including dengue, chikungunya, multi-drug resistant TB, viral outbreaks such as the current COVID-19, and cervical cancer screening. Malindi, like most of our coastal region, including the larger Kilifi County, is a tourist destination, serving people from different nationalities, both local and international. The area therefore needs healthcare services of international standards, not just to serve its many and diverse visitors, but also for the interests of the local community. And as the governor has alluded to, during my recent visit to Italy, where I was representing His Excellency the President at the European Corporate Council on Africa and Middle East, and where investments in health were featured prominently, I had the occasion to meet with investors from Italy and the Middle East who expressed a lot of interest in setting up regional health centers. Incidentally, when COVID-19 struck out, Italy was one of the countries that were hit hard, and in spite of their situation, they have continued to support us, and in spite of what you are going through yourself, Ambassador, I am very, very grateful on behalf of Kenya government and on behalf of the many, many people who are going through and being saved by your efforts, so that in spite of your challenges, you have not stopped helping Kenya and supporting us as brothers and sisters of the Italian people. Given what we know now about COVID-19, and indeed about other pandemics, there is great need to ensure that local facilities are strengthened to deal with emerging health needs to serve not just local communities, but also international visitors. In this regard, therefore, Malindi, and indeed our country, requires diagnostic and treatment facilities that meet those needs. and ensures that the countries will no longer need to evacuate their citizens from this or any other of our cities here in the coast or anywhere in the country, but to be able to face their health challenges here locally. We would also like to see a situation where people are not just coming for normal tourism, but indeed, given our weather and given our friendliness as a people, we can be able to attract even people who want to be treated and come here for tourism that relates to medical care and being taken care of medically here in Malindi as people from elsewhere, because it impacts on our economy very seriously. So I'm proud to note then that this facility, particularly the laboratory we have got here, is superior to most other clinical laboratories. It uses the East African Community Disease Surveillance Protocol. It also serves cross-border areas such as Somalia and Tanzania, as well as the entire coast region, and uses routine and superior technologies such as PCR for diagnosis of diseases of public health importance. Surveillance data is shared through East African Integrated Disease Surveillance Network. Your Excellencies, fellow Kenyans, I have no doubt in my mind that to fight this disease, we need collaboration at various levels: training, diagnostics, laboratory examination, manufacturing of drugs, as well as other medical commodities, also in research. What is happening here in Malindi, therefore, in this lab that was established as part of that network, is efficient, high-quality, accessible public health laboratories. It needs to be encouraged and supported. And on my part, as a national government representative, I wish to state that we will continue to support you. We will work with the county government to ensure that the issues that you have raised today, including the staff, including the reagents that you are talking about, the ones that we have discussed, that you will continue to be of support in this to you. And in this regard, we note also that our human resource audits on capacity have revealed, as you rightly pointed out, that we have an aging workforce that is inadequately trained, and we will immediately embark on making sure that you get the kind of quality staff, because no matter what infrastructure we have, if we do not have the human capacity, if we don't have the human resources, if we don't have properly trained individuals and doctors and nurses, then it will be an exercise in futility. So I want to support what you have said, Governor, and I want to tell you that as a national government, we will continue to support you. And as we reflect on these factors, and as we progress along our universal health care coverage, which, as you are aware, was launched by the President only 2 days ago in Mombasa, the collaboration between local and international partners to find solutions to the challenges facing our health sectors are paramount in our success. So we want to collaborate, and I'm happy that you are here with us, Your Excellency Ambassador, so that we can be able to unlevel a lot of the challenges that we have. We can share best experiences, so that what is happening in Italy and what is happening in Kenya, we can share those experiences. Why is the disease burden different from one country to another? Why is it exhibiting different characteristics? This is research that we eventually have questions to answer about, and that collaboration. And I'm glad to say that Kilifi is one of the areas where serious research in KEMRI is going on, is one of the areas also we are training our people in research, and therefore can be able to collaborate in the research area. And therefore, I hope we can take further the conversations that we had in Italy and also back Malindi through those collaborations. And I'm glad, Your Excellency, Ambassador, that you have raised the issue of our being precise going forward and our working precisely so that we can come up with what we need to do. On COVID-19, I advised last week that there's a sharp increase in positivity rate lately, with a high of 18% this last Saturday. Yesterday, our positivity rate was 15%, and today we are heading not far from that direction. Over the last 1 week, we have seen close to 100 deaths, which is the highest number we have ever witnessed since our first confirmed case in March. This has been the worst 1 week that we have faced in our COVID-19 history. That tells you something. It tells you that we need to be a lot more careful. We need to rethink some of the measures that we have taken. We need to think about what to escalate and what to de-escalate in terms of the country's openness. And therefore, I can only urge at this point, before we get to that point, perhaps sometime in the course of this week, in the course of today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, I think it is important for us to urge citizens. As we have said before, and as my brother said, it is citizen responsibility that can really help us in the containment measures that we are going to make. It is going to call for sacrifices once again. Sacrifices we can ill afford. But unfortunately, it is also sacrifices we have to make if we are going to save lives. We cannot afford to continue on this trend of 100 lives in 1 week as a result of COVID-19. Here in Kilifi, Governor, you have just told us about the numbers here. It's placing Kilifi at about number 11 out of the 47 countries, at about 678 confirmed cases. There is need for strict adherence to the containment measures to curtail further spread of this disease. There is also need to relook at the measures we have here between ourselves and your government, so that we can be able to take measures to avoid further escalation. We know that the obtaining situation across Kenya is not tenable, and we have called upon our people to adhere to the laid down containment measures. Fellow Kenyans, on our COVID-19 situation, even of today, in the country we have reported 724 people who have tested positive to the virus today, from a sample size of 5,085 just in the last 24 hours. This means our positivity rate today is 14.2%. Our cumulative tests now at 704,605. We have a 1-year-old baby who has been infected, while there is also an 84-year-old man who has been infected. In terms of counties, Nairobi County continues to lead with a huge number of 362. Nakuru, Meru, Busia, Kiambu continue to be the other counties that are also heavily affected. And Kilifi has also recorded another 8 persons today. 248 patients have recovered from the disease, 178 from home-based care programs, and 70 from various hospitals. I want to say also, the story is circulating around in the press, but we are totally overwhelmed by the disease in terms of our bed capacity is actually not true. The measure that people are talking about is because they have overwhelmed the 3 hospitals, Nairobi Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital, perhaps MP Shah as well. Those hospitals usually have very little capacity in terms of the bed capacity for infectious disease cases such as the ones that we have. The main hospitals are going to be the public hospitals. And that is why we have continued, and even today, I continue to urge the county governments to emulate what those who have invested in isolation beds, those who have invested in ICU beds, in HDU beds, to do so very quickly. Because it is very clear, there will be no movement of patients from one county to another on grounds that if it escalates, if the virus continues to hit us in the manner that it is, it means that each county will have to take care of its own patients. And that's why the government put in the support that they put in for the COVID-19 support, so that each county can have sufficient capacity. And probably, if it can help other counties that are being overwhelmed around it, then so be it. But it is important for us to note that with now some 1,297, nearly 1,300 patients are now admitted in the various facilities countrywide. Not to mention that we have some 4,800 people who are now on home-based care. And I have continued to say that it is better for families discuss this in your home, because it is always somebody else who is getting the disease until it is yourself or somebody that you know in your home. It always seems distant. But the best thing to do is to be prepared. As families, think about it, talk about it in the houses, determine what would happen if one of you became positive and had to stay at home. What are your own plans? What are you going to do? Will you provide community health workers who will come to your home and give you the protocols and tell you what to do and what not to do? We will be publishing this material across the country. We will be asking the media, the FM stations, to please assist us with protocols, with publishing protocols of home-based care. But more importantly is that we have to train ourselves as family members to take care of whoever might get positive. We have done so before with TB. As you know, TB is very infectious, and we have managed to isolate persons in our families who have gotten TB. So we need to be prepared. Discuss it. I urge you to discuss it in homes and to ask yourselves how to manage yourself. If you live on your own, then you need to discuss with somebody that in the event that you become positive, you might have to stay in your home, but somebody else might have to visit you within the protocols that we have said. So, fellow Kenyans, this is just to say that this disease is with us as a community, and we have to manage it as a community. Expecting that hospitals are going to be able to isolate and keep everybody who is positive in them is simply not going to work. We simply have to think differently. And so I urge I urge the hospitals, those hospitals that do not have oxygen at the moment, ventilatory support, and so on, we need to ensure that we have done so, and we have done so quickly. 54 patients as we speak, 54 patients across the country are intensive care units, 26 of whom are on ventilatory support and 28 are on supplementary oxygen. And it is important, you don't have to have an oxygen plant in every clinic and in every hospital, but you do have to have oxygen, because that is the primary care when one begins to get infected. Another 55 patients are separately on supplementary oxygen, out of whom 45 are in general wards, while 10 are in high dependency unit. That means that 109 persons are now actually in hospitals and well as a result of the disease. I also want to urge our healthcare workers. We have agreed with the governors, we have agreed with the county governments that we are supposed to ensure that you have everything in terms of protective gear that you need. I want to urge you, please, as I have said in the past, those of you who are here and those of you who are listening to this address across the country, take care of yourself first. You first take care of yourself and ensure that you are safe before you begin to take care of other people. We also agreed when we had the CC's conference in Mombasa that information regarding fatalities from individual hospitals must be communicated to the national government immediately. We have got too many cases where we are reporting deaths that do not relate to the 24 hours, and yet we are told that we have to report every day. So we want those of you who are managing it at the county level, particularly the CECs, to please communicate with us and tell us how many people you have lost, because Kenyans are saying that they think that there are some people who are not being reported. For instance, today we have lost another 14 patients, 14 people again. So please, let's be careful. But more importantly, hospitals, county governments, please report as soon as we have got suspicion. And the other issue is, yes, we continue to have challenges of reagents, but we are revamping them as soon as we can. From the testing capacity that you have, you can see we are doing our bits to ensure that we have got reagents. But it is a global issue. As Europe becomes worse, will have more challenges in terms of acquisition of reagents, and therefore we can only urge you to be even that much more careful. We are looking for resupplying of PPEs across the hospitals. We are working with the private sector, and we add the fund, the COVID fund, to be also activate itself to try and acquire PPEs for our health workers as we get more and more patients in our hospitals. So I want to stop there, and before I ask for anybody with any question, I want to give opportunity to the ambassador to say something, and then we can take one or two questions. Please, Barozi.